really good shape. Oh my God.
All right, FARAIM. What do I got there? Federal Aviation Regulations. That's kind of the slang word for calling it for the Title 14 Code of Federal Regulations, all right? And then AIM is the Aeronautical Information Manual. It includes a lot of information that's useful to pilots, not necessarily regulations, but certain things like how do I communicate with ATC? What's the standard phraseology if I have a minimum fuel condition? I think we all remember that flight that was coming up from Columbia or wherever. They're landing in the Northeast. They're landing at JFK. They never told anybody they were out of fuel. They said, oh, we don't have a lot of fuel on board. They never used the word minimum fuel. Guess what they did? They crashed. They ran out of fuel and crashed. So how do I talk to ATC? What's the right words to use? All that information is included in the AIM, okay? Tonight, all we're going to talk about, Federal Aviation Regulations, okay? Part 1, real quick, abbreviations and definitions. Part 61, how do I earn my certification? Part 91, general operating rules. And we're going to just touch on the National Transportation Safety Board 830, the NTSB Part 830. It's only 4 or 5 pages long, but what do I do and how do I behave? How am I expected to behave if I have an accident, if I have an incident, if I experience or know of an airplane that's overdue or maybe is involved in an accident, okay? All right, cool, so let's get through this thing. Section A, Title 14, Code of Federal Regulations, Part 1 and Part 61. Now, Part 61 is how I earn my certificate. Part 91, these are all the rules that I have to abide by while I'm earning my certificate, and then also after I earn my certificate. So you'll hear pilots and you'll hear flight instructors say, 61 is how you earn it, 91 is how you lose it, okay? That's exactly true. Okay, abbreviations and definitions. What is nighttime? Boy, oh boy, who thought it would be so hard? We haven't gone over any of this stuff yet, so I'm going to tell it to you. Nighttime is sunset to sunrise. For that switch on the dashboard, on the panel that tells me when to turn on my position lights. Okay? Sunset, click, turn them on. Sunrise, click, turn them off. It's not an hour after, an hour before, any of that other mess. A definition of nighttime, true nighttime, is, well, when it's dark outside. So the end of evening civil twilight is what that time is called, to the beginning of morning civil twilight, where the sun is completely gone over the horizon to where the sun barely starts to peek up in the next morning. And then for logging flight time, this one we did talk about, if I want to fly at nighttime carrying passengers, what do I have to do? Well, 3 takeoffs and landings within how many days? 90 days. Within 90 days, and if it's a nighttime flight, those have to be completed an hour after sunset to an hour before sunrise. And that's when I can carry passengers. So carrying passengers is the hour after, hour before. When the lights go on, the position lights, sunset to sunrise. And when it's actually nighttime, that's when I'm logging nighttime, and that's when it's actually dark out, okay? I promise that's one of the most confusing ones that we do, and I don't know why whoever thought there needed to be 3 different definitions of night. Okay, certification. This is the FAR-AIM. Jepson makes it. ASA makes it. There's a lot of different places that make it. They'll sell it to you. It has Federal Aviation Regulations. Most of the pertinent parts that you will know and need to know as a commercial pilot. And then it has the Aeronautical Information Manual and a pilot controller glossary. So they conveniently package 3 different documents all in one. All of this stuff is available online. Quite frankly, I don't buy these books. The last one I bought probably said 1990 on it or 1991. Because now I just look online. That's where the most current information is. And it doesn't charge me at all to look for it. Right? So there's ways to do this. You might want to get one so you can tab it and you can highlight it, you can read it, you can take it with you, whatever. But I encourage you to look at it online as well. All right. Part 61, this shows me, again, how do I earn my certificate and what's my recency requirements. So on a flight review, for instance, if I want to find this, it's all listed in the beginning by part. So I'll find the part that says 61, and then I'll go to that part and read the exact part of that information that I need. It's all listed in the table of contents. Very time consuming unless you go to the index or unless you use Google, okay? So a few different ways to do this. Let's talk about some of the more common regulations. Requirements for certificates and authorizations. So if I'm flying an airplane, it is required that I have 3 things on me at least. We saw this on the quiz. It did miss one of them. I thought that was kind of cool, a little trick question there. But the other 2 answers were definitely wrong. I have to have my pilot certificate. We got 3 people now that have pilot certificates, okay? I have to have that pilot certificate. I have to have a current medical. And I have to have a photo ID. Got to carry those 3 things for me to be pilot in command, okay? All right. No? Everything's good? Okay. Medical certificates. Let's talk about that. Medical certificate. Hang on a minute. Medical certificate. Medical certificate must present it to the inspector. So, I'm sorry, if you were to get a ramp check, kind of carry on for this 61.3, if an FAA inspector comes up to you and wants a ramp check, I did breeze past this one because I've been ramp checked twice in 29 years. Okay, so it's not likely to happen to you. But if they do, it's an NTSB inspector or authorized representative, the FAA inspector, any federal, state, local law enforcement officer, or representation of TSA. You just have to present it to them. You don't have to hand it to them necessarily. They're going to want to take a picture of it. The only 2 times I've ever been, they want to take pictures of it. But that's fine. Just you're required to present that information. You can't tell them no. Okay, for medicals. We did this yesterday. If I get a Class 1 medical, now I'm over 40 years old. I get a Class 1 medical right now today. It's February 17th, 2020. Okay? On February 28th of 2021, what class medical certificate do I have? Does the ink change on the paper? It's still a first class medical. Right, okay. What privileges can I exercise though? Well, it's 12 months away. I can only exercise the privileges of a commercial pilot, right? Can I fly private pilot? Okay, I'm just kind of making this one clear real quick. If I need to exercise a Class 1 medical privilege, that means that I'm flying something that requires an ATP. If I need to fly something that requires a Class 2 medical certificate, then I'm getting paid for the flight. I'm a commercial operator, okay? If I just want to fly and nobody's paying me for this and I'm not flying anything that requires an ATP certificate, then I only need 3rd class medical, okay? All right, so under 40, you can see you're good out to 60 months. And then Class 1, Class 2, it's all good for a year. Over 40, you're good for 2 years, 24 calendar months. And then Class 1 is only valid for 6 months, and then I get that Class 2 for the full year. All right. BasicMed. What did I say BasicMed was? Somebody that's going to have some restrictions on their flying privileges, like they can't do anything for hire. They can't fly above certain altitudes, 18,000 feet. They can't fly faster than 250. I don't need to know this information, okay? I need to know that BasicMed exists. I'm going to tell you that BasicMed exists. I don't expect you, and no one expects you to know and memorize what the qualifications are. You know why? Because you have a third-class medical or a first-class or second-class medical, whatever it is. You're going to show up, you're going to have that so that you can solo the airplane, okay? And so you can earn your pilot certificate. But there is a way for me to maintain that flying privilege if I want to after I get older and I don't want to continue to go to an AME or an airman medical examiner. Okay, type ratings. What kind of airplanes need type ratings? Okay, what kind of weight? How much? Okay, so we're starting. There we go. Which one is it? 12 or 12.5? 12,500 pounds. Okay. Maximum gross weight. Why do they call it gross weight? Is it gross, disgusting, ugly? No, it's just, I don't know why. They just did. You know, they call it gross weight. It means maximum. Okay. Or what else? What else means that I need to have a type rating for the airplane? Not just weight. Turbojet, right? Not turboprop. I don't need a type rating for a turboprop airplane. I need one for turbojet airplanes, okay? And then each different type of airplane, I'll have a type rating for it. Just because I can fly a Boeing 727 doesn't mean I can fly a Boeing 777, right? I got to have a type rating for each type. Okay. High performance airplane. So not talking about just type ratings, but a couple of different things. This airplane looks like it's complex. I'll tell you that it is complex. You need to have a new authorization to fly that. Who does that authorization for you? Flight instructor. Who does a type rating? Yeah, only a designated examiner. So this is a new rating on your certificate. This is a flight instructor teaching you how to do it, ground and flight training, and then signing your book. Done, okay? Same thing with high performance airplanes. How much horsepower makes this high performance? How much? More than 200. We have an airplane in the hangar, looks just like this one, has 200 horsepower. It's not high performance. Okay. All right. We got high performance airplanes received and logged, one type endorsement. That's great. Glider and tower. Anybody going to tow gliders? Let's just talk through it real quick and we're done. All right. You can't act as pilot commander of an aircraft of a glider unless you hold a private pilot certificate. You can't be a student pilot. It has to be private pilot. And at least 100 hours pilot command in aircraft, category, class, and type. Pilot and command in airplane, single engine land, whatever the category, class, and type is. And the pilot of the glider within the preceding 12 months made at least 3 actual or simulated tows of a glider when accompanied by a qualified pilot. Who cares? I don't know, bless you. I don't care anything about that, right? I've never towed anybody on a glider. I'd like to fly gliders at one point in time. You flown gliders? Were they towed or did you launch it off of something? They towed them up? Okay, well for that, you were the glider pilot. You weren't the pilot flying this thing or pulling the glider. Did you do any towing on it? You did towing as well? Or did you tow the glider while it was going up? So you got it on your Russian license. Okay. So certainly, I mean, like I said, I'd like to fly gliders, but this is not really good information for me or valuable information to me. I don't know why they continue to put this in the programs, but they do. Okay. All right. Flight review. When do I need a flight review? Well, it's written up there. When do I need a flight review? Does that mean my pilot certificate expires after 24 calendar months? No? What if I haven't flown in 6 years? I need a flight review? Yeah, because I haven't had one in the past 24 calendar months, so I need one. What does it consist of as a minimum? 1 hour ground and 1 hour flight. That's a minimum that I have to have for that flight review. Okay. So if the flight instructor puts that we flew for 0.9, it's not a good flight review. Doesn't count. All right. Logbook endorsement, it has to have that, right? Or there's something else you can do. you can earn another certificate or another rating, because if you earn your instrument rating, now you got 24 months from that. And then you earn your commercial pilot certificate, now you got 24 months from that. You could also participate in the FAA Wings program. Anyone participate in that yet? It's on FAAST. So the FAA safety team, you can log in, you do a couple online segments, you take a few flights with a flight instructor, and then you earn phases of wings. I participate in the program. I have a couple of different phases of wings, and when you guys get there, if you want to participate, I'll be more than happy to help you go along and participate in the wings program. It's just a safety program that they're trying to encourage pilots to continue their education after the certificate. Okay, pilot in command. I'm going to carry passengers. What do I need? Here, what do I need? 3 landings. Okay. So what if I want to carry passengers at night? Okay. I only need to land. I don't need to take off. Somebody else can take off. Okay. Yes. You're getting a taste of what these rules are like. All right. So 3 takeoffs and 3 landings. Is there anything else with this?
Same conditions. Same type of aircraft.
Yes. Type if required, but category and class. So if I do an airplane single engine land, well, that doesn't mean I can carry passengers now in an airplane multi-engine land. So if you're single engine and multi-engine land rated, you got to do 3 in this, 3 in that. So I did my night takeoffs and landings. Are there any kind of special takeoffs and landings that these need to be? Full stop. I cannot do a touch and go. Now I do my night takeoffs and landings to a full stop. Can I now carry passengers at the daytime in that same airplane category and class or type if required? No. I didn't fly in the daytime. It has to be nighttime. Right. Now, something else. I want to fly a tail dragger, right? Conventional landing gear airplane. I've never flown one before in my life, but my friend has one and I'm going to go fly it. Can I do that? Who does the endorsement? Instructor? Okay. And do I have any requirements before I can carry passengers in this thing? In the tail dragger? 3 takeoffs and landings in the tail dragger, in that category and class, and these have to be to a full stop. Okay?
The question about day and night. What is it said that you?
Okay.
I just reading the rules.
Enjoy the lovely life of legal interpretation. Okay? Feel my pain for a moment. I could only imagine. You know, I think it's everywhere. But here's the thing. It does not say that exactly. So you're right. But let's think for a moment. If for whatever reason, again, we're going to come up with this could happen. Not likely, but this could happen. For whatever reason, if I would have had an accident or a crash or whatever, how nice would it be for me to show up to the inspector and at least say, I have my 3 takeoffs and landings? Let's talk about something silly that happened here. I had a tire that went flat and it caused me to come off the runway a little bit. It was at nighttime. People saw it. It got reported. And now I'm standing in front of you and it was just a flat tire. I'm sorry. But if I didn't have my 3 takeoffs and landings, he's going to say, my friend, you are busted. You just didn't have it. You know, so don't give him that opportunity to take it from you. Yeah.
In any case,
I'm with you. It doesn't say it up there, but I day and night separated, category and class separated, type rating separated, conventional landing gear separated. I fly all this stuff. So I'm constantly making sure I keep up with all of it.
Just a small question. 3 takeoffs and landings should be placed in log.
You have to look. It says, unless that person has made 3 takeoffs and landings as, well, that's only part of the rule. It says you have to log it as well. Yeah. You can't say, oh, yeah, I remember doing that. It doesn't work. Because then nobody would do it. Right. All right. Okay, change of address. Oh, no, hang on. Didn't we do? Yeah, we already did tail wheel. Okay. And that's 90 days. That's not calendar months. So start on this day and count 90. And that's, you don't get to the end of the month on this. Okay, change of address. I'm moving. Where am I going now? I have to advise the FAA where I am within 30 days. And that is, you have to advise them of where you are. So if you have a post box, we have post office boxes and they deliver mail to them, then I can drive to the post office and I can check my mail. You have to actually tell the FAA where you are. So if they want to come find you, they can come find you. That's the idea. Okay? And if you change your address, 30 days. Okay? All right, private pilot privileges. No person who holds private pilot may act as pilot in command, carrying passengers, compensation or higher, nor may you pay less than the pro rata share of the operation expenses of a flight with passengers. This one's fun. Who is ambitious and trying to get their commercial pilot certificate soon? Got a couple, right? Okay. So you earn your private pilot, you earn your instrument rating. Guess what? You don't have 250 hours yet. So pilots usually do this thing called time building, or something that I call get really bad habits and forget how to fly and forget everything that you learned, okay? And during this next 120 hours, they usually pile as many people in this thing as they can and fly all over the place. Well, you cannot charge anybody for that flight, and you have to pay your fair share. Okay, so if it's 2 of you, you pay exactly half. 3 of you, you can pay a third, whatever, okay.
Exactly half, or I can share 1% mine and 99%.
No, half. Pro rata means exactly half. Yep. So, yeah. Well, hey, so news alert, getting to 250 is only the beginning. Because going from 250 to 1500, that's really where you need. And even then it gets worse. Okay. All right. Guess what? That's part 61. Woo! I told you we're going to cruise through this thing. This is going to be nice. Part 91 and NTSB 830. I have a couple slides. All right. We're going to get through this. Look similar? Now look at this guy. That is just a stone-faced pilot, isn't it? Looks like he has to poop. All right. Pilot in command, general operating rules, all these things. We're going to study this stuff. Let's go. Pilot in command, responsibility and authority of the pilot in command. There it is. Remember this one by name, 91.3. Pilot in command of the aircraft, directly responsible for, is the final authority as to the operation of that aircraft. Okay? It cannot be stated in, there is no room for interpretation here. You are the absolute Alpha through Omega here. You are it. Okay? All right. And let's take a look here. States that a pilot in command of aircraft directly responsible for blah, blah. In an in-flight emergency that requires immediate action, the pilot in command may deviate from any rule to the extent required to meet that emergency. Now, if I deviate, I might, upon request of the administrator, send a written report of that deviation Okay? I'm looking at this, thinking that this pilot's probably going to have a little bit of a written report to make. Because how did you get here in the first place? Unless there was a serious leak that happened because a bird crashed into the wing that you didn't see and it gaped open a hole and there was nowhere for you to land, you might be in trouble for taking off with not enough fuel. So I like what they did. It seems like a place that would require an emergency, but start thinking also, did I cause this emergency? Plan for this stuff so you're not there. Okay, I could have come up with a better emergency, like an airplane on fire. Okay. I've had a couple airplanes catch on fire, okay? So not a lot. 2 of them. But it's a long time of flying for just 2 airplanes catch on fire. Okay, civil aircraft airworthiness. So the authority no person may operate a civil aircraft unless it's in an airworthy condition. This places the full burden on the pilot. The pilot in command of a civil aircraft is responsible for determining whether the aircraft is in a condition for safe flight. And you must discontinue the flight when the unairworthy mechanical, electrical, or structural conditions occur. So you are the only one that's responsible to make sure that this thing is ready to fly. You could ask help. You could ask mechanics. You could, like I say, before you know and before you're familiar with, before you have the experience, make sure you're asking somebody. But if you have any question if this thing's airworthy, I'll tell you one that gets people all the time, and that is inside. Remember these engines are air-cooled? So there's like a little opening on either side of this propeller. Inside that opening, if I were to have an airplane sitting here and this opening were here, inside that opening there's a little screw that connects the top part and the bottom part. So in other words, this one probably has the screws missing because it keeps falling off on me. But there would be a screw right here on either side that's supposed to hold this thing down. There are other screws. There's screws all the way across here, all the way across the top and everything. If any of those screws are missing, do I have an airplane in an airworthy condition? I don't. But I'm surprised all the time. Pilots get out there and then they do something even worse. Let me tell you what they do even worse. So they're flying with the instructor, Luke. And Luke's been flying with them for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I go out to fly with them. Oh, okay, good. They do their pre-flight. All right, you ready to go? What about that screw? Oh, yeah. Luke said that was fine. Come on, let's go. No, man. No, it's not fine. If there are screws missing from the airplane, don't fly it. All right? So anyways. All right. Here we go. Dropping objects. You see my guy right here? This looks like Pablo Escobar dropping cocaine. No, it's not. I don't know why Jepson put that dumb picture in there. Okay? It's killing my Latin American community. All right? No, they actually do something in America, and it's fun. And the Civil Air Patrol gets involved in this, and they fill little bags with flour. It's not cocaine, okay? It's not the coca leaf. They fill it with flour, and they drop it out of the window, and they try to hit targets on the ground. And it's really neat and it's exciting, and it's allowed by the rules. We can actually do this. You just have to make sure whatever you drop out of the airplane is not going to cause anybody else harm. So I can't drop an airplane cylinder out the window on my ex-wife's house, okay? I can't do that. But at the same time, I could do this and drop something out of the airplane, okay? All right. So unless you creates a hazard, person, property, so forth. Alcohol or drugs. I'm safe. The A is the alcohol. What's the rules? 8 hours. Okay, 8 hours bottle throttle. What was the blood alcohol content? 0.4. Or if I feel like I should not fly, obviously I don't meet the criteria to fly then. But here's the real kicker about this alcohol rule, okay? The alcohol rule is It doesn't require a blood alcohol test. It doesn't require a breathalyzer. It doesn't require someone taking my blood. The burden of proof with the FAA resides in some other reasonable person stating that you were drunk. So if someone observes you and they consider that you're drunk and report you to the FAA, the burden of proof has been met and now you can be investigated and charged. Isn't that crazy? You'd think they would need to give you a breathalyzer. No. If someone says, this is like, I don't know where in the world that came from, but that's true. So, drinking, pilot, this is a very strict community. You can't not even take a chance on any of it.